is Erma Grego from Senior Perspective. Today my guests are all part of the Venetia Heritage Society, and it is the old Venetia School that we are converting into a community center. And it was once, I don't know if any of you remember it or not, as the Venetia School down on Venetia Road. And we're going to make it into, like I said, a community center for all of Peters Township. And all are welcomed. We have a variety of programs that would be of interest to all the community. One important part is going to be the senior lunches. And I will introduce, well, first of all, let me introduce my guests. There's John Hooton, over here on my right, and Angie Alampi, and Marlene Humphres. Humphres. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I just gave you another name.
That's right. That's okay.
So, okay, now that I goofed one time, maybe I can goof some more. So, right now, though, let's try to get back on track again. And I'll introduce Angie Alampi, and she's going to tell us a little bit about what the area of the aging of Washington County and how they have helped us to get started. Okay?
As you mentioned, Irma, thank you so much for having me here with you today. I certainly appreciate you inviting me and my agency to this wonderful show, and we certainly hope to be a great part in the Venetia Heritage Society in the very near future. As you know, we've been planning the kitchen facilities, so to speak, with the society. There's an awful lot of work and a lot of planning that have gone into this beautiful kitchen that they've put up. It certainly has come a long way, and what we're planning on doing in the very near future is we're going to be doing a meal program twice a month, and your meals will be prepared in Canonsburg Senior Center. They will be satellited to Venetia, and we hope to have an awful lot of people coming over there to eat this wonderful meal that we're going to be preparing for you. In our centers, we have 9 centers right now that are established, and we're happy to announce that we will be bringing you aboard as one of our satellite centers in the very near future. So again, I'm very happy to be here on behalf of Aging Services of Washington County, also our county commissioners and the Area Agency on Aging.
Very good. Is there an age requirement for this these meals?
Yes, there is. You must be 60 years of age or older to participate. Unless your spouse is 60 years of age or older and you happen to be under 60, then you're eligible to take part in our senior program.
Okay, now, do you charge for the meals?
We do not. It's a suggested donation of $1.50. That's if you feel as though that's what you want to donate, fine. If you do not want to participate in any donation, there's absolutely no charge at all. As I said, it's just a suggested donation.
And it's for all the community, and that you can come there.
Right, exactly. And really our meals are, what we do is we give you 1/3 of the daily requirements of what you require to keep you nutritionally sound. And if you had to go to a restaurant and eat what we prepare for you, it would be at least a $6 or $7 meal. It's really very wonderful. I'm sure you've sampled.
I tried the one in Washington, and are they all the same?
Yes, all of our menus are the same straight across the board. We prepare the same meal for all of our centers each and every day. Once in a while we try to differ because maybe the meals are prepared in a different manner because maybe we didn't receive exactly what we were supposed to have for that particular day, but straight across the board, they're all the same.
So, do you don't have like Meals on Wheels or something like that, home delivered meals?
We do, Irma. Yes, we do
have.
You do? Yes, we do have home delivered meals. As a matter of fact, in 6 of our centers, all through Washington County, that falls under my program. And we do have Meals on Wheels for people that are homebound, that can't get out, that possibly they're too ill, or maybe they have no support system with them. It's a very unique program. We have many, many clients on that program.
Oh.
We would be certainly happy to take a referral for anyone that you feel would be in need of that program. It's very,
well, we do have one in the township, the Meals on Wheels.
Right, you do.
We do have one.
Right, exactly.
So,
the meals for Peters Township is prepared from St. David's Church.
Right.
That is not our program. St. David's does a wonderful job. They've been doing it for years, and we usually don't like to go into a community where a church is already preparing for the home-delivered meal
For the
program.
home-delivered meals.
Yes. But in some of our areas, we do. We do have home-delivered meals that come out of 6 of our centers, as I mentioned earlier in our conversation.
But if, say, they should need some help or something like that, we would be available to help them?
Yes, you would be, absolutely. They would have to be referred through INR, which is Referral and Information. They have a caseworker that comes out to their homes. They interview them. They see exactly what their needs are, and they take it from there. They send a caseworker out to see exactly what needs to be done, exactly, you know, whether it be some type of support, or whether it be a home-delivered meal, or if they can hook them up to a senior center, whatever we think that we can do, whatever our services that we have, rather, that would suit that particular client.
Yeah, well, gee, that's great to know that, you know, that we're starting something with the basics.
Absolutely.
And that we can help a lot of people.
Absolutely.
And how do you become eligible for the home aid?
As I mentioned, you have to be referred. We have a toll-free number that you can call, and once you're referred, a caseworker is assigned to you. She comes out and she does an assessment. It's a lengthy assessment, and at that point they decide exactly what your needs are through conversation with the client, and they take it from there. They assign you to a caseworker, and that's how you become eligible for our senior program.
Okay, now you've told us all about what the agency does. Now, how can we be involved in that? Are we considered as volunteers or something like that for the program or something?
Yes, we do have volunteers in our program. We have all types of volunteers. We have volunteers that deliver home-delivered meals. We have volunteers that work in our senior centers. They do many, many jobs. It's a variety of things. Our volunteer program that we have that help deliver home-delivered meals is absolutely wonderful. It's very rewarding. Sometimes that person that delivers that home-delivered meal to that client, that might be the only time that they have any communication with someone in the outside world. So it's a very, very worthy program. To me, that's my favorite program. I'm sure that you can tell. You see how enthused I am about that. And in addition to that, our senior centers also, we have volunteers that work in all of our senior centers.
Well, what do the volunteers do like, what would they do down at our place then?
Okay, many things. You can help in your particular center. You would be able to help set up the tables in the dining room for the meals. You would be able to possibly wrap silverware, maybe help not prepare the meal, but serve the meal once it's brought into you. And then again, there's always the cleanup, and then there's a little bit of paperwork that is also involved with that. So there's always something that you can do as a volunteer.
Well, I noticed up in Washington, when I was up there, that they served you at the table.
Exactly, they do. We can also work that out. Right now, we're really in the talking stages of exactly what we're going to be doing in Venetia, because we just haven't got started as yet, and we don't know how many people are going to be participating, so we're going to have to wait until we get in there and probably, you know, try a few different programs to see exactly which one is going to suit Venetia. But I'm sure that we'll be able to work something out.
Well, we're looking forward to it.
Oh, me too.
Definitely.
Yeah, me too.
Well, now, John, you know that Angie has given us quite a few things for our center, and that could you maybe tell us?
Let me introduce myself.
Okay, yes.
I am John Hooton, and I live in Cranmore over near Donaldson's Crossroads. We've lived there since 1993, and I have an interest, I've always had an interest in history, which took me through the Community Day program that the township has every year, over to the booth operated by Peters Creek Historical Society. So one thing led to another, and then I found myself to be more and more active. We have our monthly meetings at Finleyville Community Center, which has served well since the beginnings of the society back in 1967. But the emphasis and the center of activity has changed over the years from Finleyville to Peters Township. So therefore, since our house is a wonderful, I'm sure everybody would know of the 1815 Wright House. If you don't know of it, it isn't because I didn't tell you. But we're looking for a community center that's in Peters Township that would serve more of the center of our focus. And so for that reason, when I learned that through Sandy Umbach, who was really one of the prime movers to get this started, developed this idea, I thought, well, I'd like to become a part of that. And it's been a learning experience, a gratifying experience to work towards the formation of this. Erma, you and I were out in Hickory, Pennsylvania this past week, and if any of you out there would like to know what a community center can do and how a successfully run operation benefits, just go out there.
Go out and look.
They have done a wonderful, wonderful job. So we hope to not necessarily emulate what they have done, but we feel that the potential for success is great in Peters Township. And I don't want to go on too long because I'd like to bring Marlene in a little bit. Maybe I could, if we bring Marlene in a little bit, I could come back and tell you about some of the different areas in which we think the the Venetia Community Center could be helpful. Marlene, you've been sitting there very patiently.
Very patiently, yes.
Well, I too, John, have been with the board ever since the startup of the community center. Well, the Venetia Heritage Society, with the hoping to set up the community center, and that's been at least 4 years ago. And we've worked with Sandy Umbach. She's gotten several grants to move this along, and we're very grateful. We're pleased to see Angie coming in and developing the senior center and the lunch program. And we also hope that we're going to have several groups using the building. We've been contacted by the Boys and Girl Scouts. We've been contacted by the 4-H'ers. The McMurray Art League, which I'm a former president of, is going to set up a class and have teaching classes available to the public. And other groups have contacted us. We do have a wonderful theater area up on top that we've developed, and I know that dance and theater groups would appreciate using those facilities. So we've come a long way, and I know that the grand opening of the building is expected, I believe, in October. So we're doing several fundraisers along those lines to expedite that, and hopefully when October comes around we will have our grand opening.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that, believe me. And we'll have a big party.
That's right. That's
The
right.
most recent public outing that we had was a very nice car cruise over at All Pro Car Agency right on Route 19. And I had had a similar activity for the Peters Creek Historical Society in the backyard of the Wright House, so I was pleased to go. And to me, that's an industry. I don't know whether any of you out there have paid much attention to cars and car cruises and car shows, but they're everywhere. And we were successful in getting a little money as a result of that, and perhaps if we're invited back, we can expand the idea a little bit. So we've talked about the meetings, the meeting rooms, and it would be a public room as an incentive. I don't want to give out a number because I might not hit it right on the money, but it's my understanding that if you have a public activity that you would like to invite people to attend, any of the existing buildings do charge a rather significant amount of money to hold the event. You know whether that's, you know anything about that, Erma?
Well,
And we hope to do it, is what I'm thinking, at very little cost, to make it a community center. We were successful in getting a $50,000 grant from the state and $25,000 from Washington Federal. So any of you grant givers out there, don't hold back. You know, please
well,
let yourselves be known.
Yeah, the $25,000 was earmarked just for the kitchen, and we've used it, and we have put in a fantastic kitchen. I mean, it is going to be so nice, and other people coming in will be more than happy to use the facilities there, and because they are nice.
It's really state of the art.
Yes.
I don't want to let too much time go by without mentioning others who have been very active and prior to my coming as well. Certainly Reverend J.D. Hilliard and Luke Hernan have been hardworking, and Clayton Spar.
Especially Clayton.
The Building and Grounds Committee have really done a marvelous job.
Yes, they have.
And you're talking about amateur help here. And maybe they've even surprised themselves at what a good job they've done. But it's going to be a wonderful facility. I think we'll have seating capacity for perhaps 40 or 50, would we not?
Something like that.
Right.
Yes.
I think so.
Well, I know that Clayton always says, we don't know how to do it, but we'll sure try.
Yeah.
And he's led these men into, there's about 4 or 5 of them that come down every week.
Right, Bill Higby and Luke Kernan Sr. and John Dobridge.
Joe Dobridge.
Right, and J.D. Hilliard along with Clayton. They're always working.
Yes.
Well, you'll be seeing some of the things they have done very shortly. But first, although there's, what was that organization that came down and painted the whole building? Does that do any of you?
That's a county program. It's really two organizations in one. One is, excuse me, community service, and the other is furlough into service, FITS. I wouldn't have chosen those initials, but they're there. And what they did, and I didn't know of the program till one day when I was passing the school on my way back from the Wright House. I noticed these cars and trucks over there, and curiosity went in, and it turns out that they were work release prisoners, if you will. I don't want to give it a bad intonation at all, but they did a very, very good job of painting all of the interior.
The whole building.
The whole building,
yes.
It was quite a good job.
Yes.
And playing off that, to me, a borrowed idea is every bit as good as when you think of yourself. So I got them to do some work over at the Wright House. So if I keep mentioning the Wright House, I don't think I would injure any of my friends here on the panel by saying that we are an historic area of the township. We consider the Wright House, the Wright United Methodist Church, and Venetia School, ultimately Venetia Community Center, to be maybe currently the forgotten about, but let's call it the yet to be developed part of the township.
Right.
So it's a real fun thing to be on the ground floor.
Yeah, and we all work together.
Yes, yes.
All three, right now then we will be showing you some of the things that we videoed down at the school, and with Clayton Spar was the one that took us around. It was just last week, so if you'll just be patient for a moment, and we will show you some of the video. Hi, this is Erma Grego from Senior Perspective. Today we are going to show you the old Venetia School, which will be the future community and senior center for Peters Township. I'd like to introduce Clayton Spar, who has been the head of the contractors and doing all the repair work that we've done here in the school, and he can take it over from there. Clayton?
Okay, I'm the chairman of the Buildings and Grounds Committee, and we've got a lot of buildings, at least a lot of building and grounds around here. First, I'd like to introduce a couple of other members of the committee who have been very diligent in coming to help on the work days, and I want to mention a couple of others also. Right here is Reverend J.D. Hilliard, who is pastor of Wright's United Methodist Church, which is right next door, and John Dobridge, who is also a member of the board of directors of the Venetia Heritage Society. Two other people that I would like to give credit to are Lou Kernan Sr., who never fails to show up for a work day but couldn't be here today. And the other one is Bill Higbee from down in Finleyville, who has also been most diligent in coming to help us out. There are many other people who have helped on a more infrequent basis, and I'm not going to try to name all of them because I'm sure I'll forget somebody. I do want to mention, however, Dwight Lewis Sr. and his son, Dwight, who have done all of the plumbing work for us. They brought in the new gas line, did all the plumbing in for the new kitchen. They have done very good work at very minimal prices for us, and so we want to say thank you to them also.
I think they deserve a lot of credit for all their help that they've given us, and anybody that has given us a lot of help. It's really, really appreciated, and I mean, they've done a lot here, and Clayton has a lot more, and John probably, and the Reverend also has some things that they would like to say also. So maybe we'll go inside now and...
Well, before we go inside, let's look at the new walks.
Oh, fine.
These were just finished less than an hour ago. The workmen just got in their trucks and pulled out. Now,
so that's our new entrance to go in and there. And
the new walkway to the main back doors, and to our right is the new handicapped access ramp to the door at the basement level. This work was done by Peters Township on a shared basis with the Venetia Heritage Society. As a part of the money that we paid for our share of the parking lot, the township agreed to help us reestablish the walk connections to the building. And the work was actually performed by township employees, and the cost of it is being shared by the township and by the Heritage Society. So we're very glad to have the township's help in getting these walkways put in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've done a very good job, and I love that entrance. It really is so much better than the old one was. Mm-hmm.
And something else, by way of improvements, when the Heritage Society purchased the building, it had been vacant for several years, and breaking windows seemed to have been a favorite pastime of some of the local kids, I think. But anyhow, we totaled them up. There were 17 broken windows. Not 17, I mean 70. Over 70 broken window panes in the building. So one of the first things we did was to get them all replaced so that we get the building closed up again the way it should be. That was the first major project that we undertook.
Well, it looks great now from here.
Okay, I think we're finished outside. We may want to go inside now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we'll go in, and shall we start with with our very famous kitchen first?
All right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. We're back inside here now, and this is the kitchen. This is going to be the future kitchen for the Venetia Heritage Society. And this is all the new equipment that we've gotten, and the whole room has been redone. And I mean, it is a fantastic job what they have done here. And that's our new refrigerator. And I mean, just everything is nice and new. And Clayton will tell you, and maybe some of his other workers will tell you a little bit more what they've done here. Clayton?
Well, when we acquired the building, the kitchen that had been here for the school cafeteria had been torn out entirely, so we were starting from scratch. And to do it, we used a $25,000 grant, which was given to us by First Federal Savings Bank of Washington. So as I say, we started from scratch, and all the equipment is new. It is essentially complete now. Really, the only thing that remains to be done is to test the new fire suppression system when we get it tied into the fire alarm for the building.
Well, there's something about the fire alarm system that's supposed to be connected to this hood and everything then?
Oh yes, this fire alarm hood has to be connected to.
Oh my goodness, I didn't see that.
This fire suppression system has to be connected to the building fire alarm. So if there's a problem here and this thing is triggered or set off, it will set off the fire alarm for the building.
Mm-hmm. That's some wood, I'll tell you. And it covers over top, it will cover over the stove, the French fryer, and what goes here then?
Well, we left room for an additional fryer and for a convection under the hood. Mm-hmm. While he's filming some of the equipment here, let me say that that leads us to the next big project, which is to update the fire alarm system in the building to bring it up to the current code. And we had the representative from the fire department come in, and he's going through the whole building with us, telling us where we need to position each of the detectors and emergency lighting and all those things that are required to bring the system up to snuff. And we are currently getting bids from contractors to do that work.
Well, there's something about a generator or something you were saying. Did you want to mention something about that?
Yes, all those detectors, emergency lights, exit signs, all need an emergency source of power in the event of a problem. And it turns out that the Peters Township Fire Department is going to help us out with that by installing an emergency power generator in the building. Now, the reason they wanted to do that was to provide for better communications in the township. They wanted to put a radio antenna on the roof of the building. The purpose for that being to solve a problem they had with communications in this valley. The signal would get lost, and so they couldn't communicate back and forth. So they proposed putting an antenna on the roof and an emergency generator to supply power in the case of a problem. And in return, they're going to make the generator of sufficient capacity so that all the emergency power needs of the building can be tied into that generator. So that was a win-win situation, I think, for the society and for the fire department. And that is going forward now. You know, they are in the process of finding a contractor to do that work.
So that was really something that, like you say, it's benefiting both the fire department and us also, which is a great thing.
Yes.
And so that's showing communication between two groups of people, which is, you know, that's what it's all about, is to be together and do things. That's how you get things done. Okay, so is there anything else you wanted to say while we're in the kitchen
I think
here?
that's all we...
About the
Had to build a whole wall. That wall was taken out. What the wall was in here originally when the school was in use and the cafeteria and the kitchen was in use, so there was nothing there. So we had to come in and start from rough carpentry and put in the whole wall and put drywall on it and frame for the doors. There'll be a stainless steel cover over that window. That's a pass-through window for food.
Yeah, these are our fireproof doors.
Those are fireproof doors,
Fireproof
yes.
doors, and one for in and one for out. So we're really right up to code on everything, and as much as we can. And that, and whatever they tell us to do, then that's what we do. So we'll go and see some of the rest of the building. And is there, did you you want to mention something about the FITS program now, or do you want to do it later?
Yes, as we go around, notice that the whole building has been freshly painted, and this work was done through a county agency known as FITS, which I think is an acronym for Furlough into Service. And it involves primarily men who have gotten themselves into trouble and who are incarcerated on the weekends, but are allowed to go on work release during the week. On the weekend, they are given the opportunity to go out and do community service rather than sit in a cell up at the jail. And those people came in, and I think it was over 90 gallons of paint that we bought, and they painted essentially the entire building for us. And I was amazed at how enthusiastic they were about doing it. My first thought was, well, how do you take somebody and say, come on, you're going to go out with us and you have to work? You know, what do you do if they don't work? Do you put them in jail? But they were willing to come out and do it. They came out voluntarily, and it gave them something to do on the weekend rather than just sit. And they did us a great service. And I'm glad for that agency and for the things that they're doing for the community.
Well, it helped us an awful lot, and it really looks good. They did a real good job.
While we're here, let me also mention the county aging agency, and in particular,
Area on Aging.
The county, what is it?
Area on Aging.
The county area on aging, and in particular, Mrs. Lampi, who has been a great help to us. She has found for us a considerable amount of furniture from other senior citizens centers, and we have gone and brought it in here. For example, the dining room out here now is completely furnished with tables and chairs due to Mrs. Lampi's efforts in finding cast-off but still very serviceable furniture from the area on aging.
Including our dishwasher. We got that through them also.
Okay.
And our famous story of all is our pool table, which we don't know where we're going to put it yet, but we'll put it to use. You know where to put it. Those are some of the things that Angie has done, and I mean, she's always coming up with something, and we're going to need a lot of things. We're going to need dishes and pots and pans, and we're going to need a lot of things to furnish this kitchen. And that, so any help we can get, we will greatly appreciate it. And but I think that it's looking great. And if you'd have seen it whenever we first saw it, I mean, you'd have thought, oh, this can't be. I mean, you know, that it really is coming along very nicely, and hopefully we'll be open soon, and you'll be smelling the spaghetti and the fried chicken and all that stuff. So, okay, Clayton, do you want to go up to the first floor upstairs then, to the senior room and some of the other rooms? Okay, well, again, we'll be back in just a few minutes. Well, we're back again, and this time we've designated this as the senior room, and it's where we will have all our senior programs and different things. And right now we're using it to have our board meetings and our fundraising meetings, and this is the room that we've been using. And again, Clayton will tell you more what has been going on in here too.
Well, there isn't too much more to say, except that we show you this room because it is typical. There are 6 classrooms in the building, and because of the symmetry of the building, they're all identical. If I were to blindfold you and bring you in, you wouldn't be able to tell me which room you were in. So as you look around this room, you're looking at all 6 of them, really.
So 2 of them will be for the, art league. 2 of the rooms will be used for the art league.
That is the present plan,
That's
yes.
the plan.
Very ardent.
Yeah.
I'd like to have 2 rooms.
And there's, one's going to be our memorabilia room. Is that our plan?
The plan was to take 1 room and use it as sort of a museum room. And maybe that's where some of the old desks go. Maybe the pictures, old class pictures that we can gather up from here and there.
Maybe we could.
And then, of course, the that room will be multi-purpose too. It will be that. It could also be a room used for meetings, and people don't mind sitting at school desks. It could be used for other things too, and probably will.
Well, if anybody has any memorabilia that they would like to donate, that you could use in that room, it would be greatly appreciated. So there I go for a pitch again. So, anything that will show interest to the community. And that's what we want to do. We want to bring things out for the community, show that we are part of Peters Township. And that we want everybody to be able to use this facility and to really make it their home. So that's our big goal. Okay, Clayton, do you have anything else?
Not here. Let's go upstairs and just take a look at the auditorium. We will rebuild the stage that was there once, but right now it's just an open room. But I think it's worth looking at to show another job that the Fitz people did for us up there.
Okay. Again, we will be back in a few minutes, and while we go up to the 2nd floor for the future auditorium. See you in a little bit. Okay, here we are back again, and now we are up on the 2nd floor, and this will be our auditorium. And we are planning on dance recitals and just about anything that we can put on, and eventually maybe even a play. And well, Clayton will tell you all the basics and maybe.
Well, when I went to school here, which has been quite a while ago, this was the auditorium. On that end of the room, there was a stage, full length of the room over there.
In front of the windows.
Yeah, right, in front of the windows. Now later on, I'm not sure exactly when this occurred, but the township, the school board decided that they had different priorities for it, that they needed it for other things. So they put a partition down the middle. You can see where it was, because the columns have not been replaced yet. But they divided it into 2 rooms. And I think that one of them was a classroom, and I think the other one was the library. That's the way it was when the society acquired the building. And so right away the plan was to take it back and make an auditorium out of it again. So when the Fitz fellows were here doing the painting, before they painted this room, they tore out that partition that had been put in to open it up so it has the same dimensions as the original auditorium. Now to take it back, the plan is to put the stage back. But that is a future project.
Well, it certainly looks a lot different now than the first time I saw it. I mean, it really was scary. But a lot has been done, and we have a lot of people to thank. And we are still looking for more people to help these poor guys here. And they've really been very diligently working here to get the place ship-shape order like they are. And hopefully that we can open soon for the public. And please don't forget us, because we are going to be opening hopefully soon. And as you can see, there's a lot to be done yet, but we have a lot of very dedicated people. And I know that we will make a great success of this. And it's something that has been deep in my heart that I want for the township. and I've always wanted it. And I think it's finally coming true. And it's just been a great, great thing. And it's just so wonderful to have people like Clinton and the Reverend and John there that they are so dedicated in doing all this, and all the rest of them too, and everybody that has donated things to us. And I mean, it's been wonderful, and I know it will continue, and we will have a wonderful place one of these days. So this is Erma Grego from Senior Perspective, and thank you all for watching.
This is Erma Grego back again, and I want to thank Clayton for the wonderful job he did on that interview and showing us all the things about our wonderful building and all the prospects that we have coming up in that. And right now, John Hooton would like to give you a little rundown on some of the things that we are planning on doing and see what we're up to.
Well, I think the word planning is a little precocious, perhaps, but plans are born of ideas, and we're looking to involve as much of the community as possible. One of the things that Erma and I learned when we went out to Hickory, Pennsylvania this past week was the way in which the activities have engaged the old classes. They have reunions. Now, they're fortunate to have class pictures of every class. Now, the Hickory School was a high school initially, and then it became an elementary school later. We don't have that, you know, double use, so we might not have as many pictures as we would otherwise, but let me just ask you, the viewing audience, if you have any pictures that would be of interest, not only elementary school, but high school or whatever in your personal collection, if you would, and perhaps we could have the screen show the address of Venetia Heritage Society, P.O. Box 29, Venetia, that's V-E-N-E-T-I-A, Pennsylvania, zip code 15367. Get in touch with, well, either through the mail or Lou Kernan Jr. is the president. You could contact him, or I think the address would do fine. And we would perhaps, depending on the results we get, maybe we could have reunions. And in particular, not only does it engage the public, but it's frankly been a source of revenue. They've found a great response. And we've, in the limited time that I've been with the Venetia Heritage Society, we've had some excellent response from perhaps a smaller number, but a larger number could potentially do even greater. So we're looking for class pictures, and also, since we're following Clayton Sparr's fine delivery of what the building is currently, I guess we don't really have any pictures of what the school itself looked like years ago. So that would be kind of fun. And you know, if any of you were related to an architect and you have the elevations of the different floors, or all we're trying to say is we're collecting information, so no help is unappreciated. Something that I learned when my wife and I went out to Boulder, Colorado, where our older son lives. He's married to a lady who isn't happy if she isn't busy. I mean, she's got 2 children, a house, and all the rest. But she decided to go into business for herself, making pesto. And she has this product which she calls the Pesto Manifesto. And so where was she going to do this? Well, of course, if you're going to sell things to the public, you better have Department of Health approval. And they don't look too kindly on home kitchens. So Edie found this place that is so approved. And so she has her own embryonic business, if you will, and 3 others have their own separate businesses. One of them is the Boulder Cheesecake Company, and yet another does gourmet meals. And so that's a source of income for the community center if we were to adopt that idea here. And it's a very inexpensive way for you know, a future business magnate to get started in a small way. And it does engage the community. So those are just a couple of ideas that I thought we could hope to hear about from some of you out there who would like to participate.
Yeah, there's, you know, there's possibilities for everybody because we do have this wonderful kitchen and we don't want it just to sit there.
Right, right.
And because we want to use it and...
yes, you have state-of-the-art equipment
right.
in there.
You
it's
have
beautiful.
spaghetti dinners.
Absolutely.
Or pesto.
Or pesto dinners.
Pesto.
just let us know what you would be interested in and we will do it.
Yeah. Marlene, you have a couple of good things about the Community Day. Tell us.
Yes, we were very active with Community Day. We had a booth, and we had several gift baskets, and we actually had a something for the children as well. It was called a, we were actually reaching in and pulling out eggs, and inside were little notes, and if they happened to be lucky, they would get an individual prize. Everybody got a prize, just of different magnitudes. It was just a fun day. I think we made over close to $1,800 with our raffles that particular day. We also participated in a car cruise at Frank LaCastro's All-Pro down on 19. And I specifically wasn't part of that. My son was getting married that day, but I understand that we also made over $1,000 that particular day.
Yes.
And I'm involved with another fundraiser, which I'd like to talk about right now.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, you can tell us about that.
Funny she would do that.
This is the second year that Esther Meisner and I have organized and directed the Venetia Heritage Society Golf Classic. John Hooton joined us this year, which we're very grateful for his help. And I'd like to personally thank Esther and John for all their input this year. The golf outing is one of our biggest fundraisers, and the money that we raise goes toward the building and grounds improvement. We'd like to thank all of the people and the area businesses in McMurray, and especially the Venetia, Finleyville, and North Strabane areas, the businesses and the people who have contributed greatly through their sponsorships and donations.
I understand, rumor has it, that there are still some tickets left for
There's still...
to participate as a golfer?
Oh, there's yes.
There are a few left?
We still
Is
have
that true?
We still have openings.
Ah,
and,
yes.
You know, we'll tell you about that. The golf outing is actually going to be held this year, as it was last year, at Fort Cherry Golf Club, September 17th. The shotgun time is 10 a.m., and we're using a scramble format. And
What is a scramble format?
well, that means that they can start playing at any particular hole. You know that, for example, you don't have to start at hole 1. I mean, someone could be assigned another hole at 18, and they still would simply go back and they'd pick up all the other holes. So
You can start on 3 or 18 or whatever.
right. You could be
so you just
right, depending on how many
You're not all starting at
play
one
until you're
point.
through.
right, depending on how many golfers there are. You know, because you don't want to start them all at hole 1 because there would be a big backlog of golfers if you had to do it that way.
So if you
What
start
is
them at
the-
different points, then, you know, then they don't all pile up in one place.
What is
much?
that date again?
It's September 17th. It's a Monday, and it will go from 10 a.m. until probably 2:30, 3 o'clock. We'll have a cash bar reception after that from 3 to 4, and then dinner will follow at 4. We'll have lots of things going on. We will have various Chinese auctions. We'll have silent auctions. We have a lot of donations from so many of the area merchants that we're very grateful for.
Yeah,
Well, we'd like to invite all of our seniors to come out. We have some very excellent golfers that take part in our senior games every year, so possibly they might be interested in coming out and helping a worthy cause, and also have a day of fun with you, Marlene.
We'd love that. You know, we also need hole spotters. And I'm going to get into this in a little bit more detail with all of our sponsorships, because we're very fortunate this year that we have a hole-in-one, a car hole-in-one sponsor. And
Great.
actually all 4 of our par 3s will have hole-in-ones,
Great.
gifts attached to them.
Wonderful.
And the cost,
Yes, what is the cost for that?
the cost of an individual golfer is $90. For a foursome, it's $350, And if you're just coming for dinner alone, it's $25. So
That's very reasonable.
So
I went there last year for dinner, and it was quite a nice event. Where would we suggest the golfers go to get their tickets?
Well, tell you, we're going to put information through the Chamber of Commerce. There's going to be newsletters going out. We're already on cable, and they can send information directly to our post office box 29, Venetia PA 15367. They can call me. I think my phone number will be on the screen. They can call Esther, and I even have your name, your telephone number.
Okay, that's
so
fine.
they can contact you as well. So they have several places that they can go to register. And if they want a registration form, they simply have to ask. Or if they don't choose to do that, just simply send in your money and tell us how many people are going to be playing.
This is perhaps a side thing, but I was pleased to learn that the Fort Cherry Golf Facility is owned by Vic Dossie, who's been a fast friend of Venetia Heritage Society, and they turned out a very nice event. So if we can give Vic and his construction company a small plug, I think he's earned it.
He certainly has. He's been a wonderful contributor, too.
He has.
Yeah. Marlene, something was brought up, something about a sponsorship. What would that be?
Okay, well, we have several sponsorships that are available. Many of our sponsorships are already taken. What is available is an event sponsor, and I'll just briefly tell you that that's the cost of that would be $1,750, which is a little high, but that does allow that particular sponsor to have 3 foursomes. We have a few contributing sponsorships left that permits 1 foursome to play. And again, you're getting advertising in all of our literature. We have a couple of tee box sponsorships still left. That's $100, and you get your name on a particular sign on a green or a tee.
More like an advertising?
It's an advertising gimmick, sure, for any person if they have their own private business or for a company. And we also have gift sponsorships still available. We'll accept any gifts openly. And again, you can send that information to the Venetia School, or you can call us, and we'll be more than happy to pick them up.
Even a dozen golf balls would be a big help.
That would be great. That would be wonderful. I talked about several of our sponsorships being taken, and I want to give credit where credit's due, because our first place sponsor, team sponsor, was taken by Mercedes. Our second place sponsor is your company, John Hooton, and maybe you can tell us, I think it's financial planning offered through Heffron Tillotson.
Heffron Tillotson, their downtown office. My own office is in Bridgeville, and I have a great time there. And my third business activity always seems to suffer by the volunteer activity that I get involved with, but my wife says, well, if you're having fun, I guess it's not all bad.
And our third place sponsor is Donaldson's Supplies, and out of Cannonsburg. We have several drink cart sponsors this year, which we're very pleased about. We have the Longest Drive sponsor, who is actually John Bevick, our commissioner, and we have a putting contest sponsor, who is Golfland. These sponsorships, oh, and I can't forget our hole-in-one sponsor, who is Bud Bayer. Not only are we having a hole-in-one, which is a car, as I mentioned before, we are having 4 hole-in-ones. All of our par 3s will have a prize attached to them. As I said, the major prize would be the car, and then there are 2 different golf vacations. One's in St. Augustine, Florida, and the other's in Palm Coast, Florida. And then we have one of the other whole sponsorships is a 2-year car maintenance along with a putter. So I'm really excited, and I can't thank Charlie Lloyd of Bud Bayer enough for coming through as that sponsor for us.
He sponsored all those.
Yes, all of those sponsorships, all the hole-in-one sponsorships.
While we're passing out credits, I think it would be remiss of us, Angie, if we didn't thank Marlene and also Esther, even though she's not with us today, for the hard work and outstanding results that they've given to the Society. Last year, is it an embarrassment to mention how much we made? Should we not?
Go right ahead. Sure.
Okay, $12,000. I think that's net to the community center.
Right.
So it doesn't happen by accident. if you should happen to be called by Marlene or Erma or Angie or me, please don't hang up.
And I do want to tell you some of the list of prizes that we've already received, are amazing. We have a ladies' Mercedes watch that's been donated by Sisson. We have artwork coming. We have theater tickets. We have symphony tickets. We have all-clad, and that's very expensive kitchenware. We have sports memorabilia donated by the Pirates, the Steelers, the Penguins. We have beautiful crystal vases. The list goes on and on and on. Gift certificates.
Gift certificates from restaurants.
Right. Gift baskets. We can't thank the community enough for being so supportive.
Almost impossible to go to that event and come home empty-handed.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yes. You did a wonderful job, Marlene. Really, you need to be commended. And also you, John, and the whole committee.
The whole committee.
Really, from beginning to end, as I said, I have been very impressed from the beginning with the whole society. It certainly has been absolutely marvelous what they've done in such a short period of time, and I see nothing but success in the future.
Well, it takes everybody's cooperation in order to make anything go.
That's
right. And we're all very dedicated to this project. And is there anything else you want to tell us?
No,
I think you've just about covered.
I think we have. I think businesses and individuals still can send in donations to us. The golf outing is not until September 17th. We'll give you a listing in our brochures. We are, and we want to do this because this is our big fundraiser, and we're all going to put it into the building and grounds, and all goes back to the community. So what you give us now, you'll see back again.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it looks like we're probably coming to a close here, and I do want to thank all three of you for your wonderful, wonderful presentation of our building down there, and I call it our building.
That's true, Irma. Thank you, Irma.
And well, the opening date for this community center is projected for October, hopefully, and I'll tell you a little something about this. This center will serve as a nucleus for young and old alike. Meeting places are available. Youth groups such as Boys and Girl Scouts and 4-H members have expressed interest in the building. The McMurray Art League will hold classes there, which will be a wonderful thing for our artists in the township. And the seniors will now have a central place to meet. And there's future to be a theater area upstairs that a dance or theater group has expressed interest in using. We have ample parking to hold dinners and events at the community center, and we welcome everyone's support. We have memberships available. Come and visit us. Better yet, join us. Thank you, and we hope to see you. And if you have any, like John said, any pictures or any memorabilia of any kind for our memory room, and if you can just help us in any way at all, we will be very, very grateful. And hoping to see you all, and I hope it will be in October. This is Erma Grego from Senior Perspective.
Thank you, Irma.
Thank you.